do not know how each of you experiences your life, but I've come to see mine as a series of what I would say is little awakenings, and I'm going to call them pings. Something isn't there, and then ping, it is. I'm awakened to a new task or an idea. I feel the ping, and somehow I know I own it. I grew up in an apartment building in the Bronx. The rumor growing up was that the higher you lived on the floor, the crazier your family was. So we started on the third floor, not so bad, but then we moved to the fifth. So I leave you to draw your own conclusions. What is certainly true is that this was not an upbringing that readied you to jump to the call of a morning dev or grab your telescope to see the night sky. The Bronx with amazing Italian food on Arthur Ave and took a bus on Saturday afternoon with your girlfriends to the RKO until the future. While my own family grew up in a village in the Carpathian Mountains and picked mushrooms in the forest, in the Bronx, we really didn't marvel much at nature. A skyscraper? Yes. A duck? Not so much. Certainly not a propitious start for a person who ends up being obsessed with the lives of beings on the planet. Who knew life would alter my existence 180 degrees and allow me to fall in love with the earth? Truthfully, this alteration came through a professor who excited me about primate. Ping. I traveled to Africa. It never occurred to me in all my years that I would be sitting near chimpanzees in Kibale National Forest, a rainforest, watching two male chimps grooming each other, using a special stance, each one holding one arm up with the other, and using the free hand to groom the compatriot, demonstrating a behavior my eyes had never seen before except in a book, and was actually a cultural phenomenon for that group. Then, ping, I end up in Madagascar. Who's ever thought that Al and I would be relaxing on a terrace on our Madagascar hut, suddenly become frozen as a conga line of chifacas leaps across the yard? Another day, when my hand was touching the hand of a lemur as I passed it a banana, and his hand being the most beautiful and soft thing I have ever felt in my entire existence. Later, we go back to Uganda. Whoever thought we would be walking through the amazingly well-named Bwindi Impenetrable Forest, in which we get to a place where there's a family of gorilla and a 2-year-old baby gorilla, protected, of course, by automatic weapons, climbs up a skinny young tree to the top. It's like a little guy about this big. And it slowly tips a little bit until the branch arcs and the tree arcs and goes down. And he balletically sails to the floor. And then does it again, and again, and again. From this traveling in the jungle, I found a poem. Ping, I begin a nonprofit. 18 years ago, that started, and it continues in Boston to this day. I saw the city's children needed to be steeped in the science of the planet and learn about what I have been privileged to learn and experience, what it is to love the planet, what it means to see oneself in whatever small way one can in the business of saving and protecting it. Then one day, for a gazillion reasons, our family moved to the suburb here, Sharon. Now that was a change, but at first not such a pain. Taking trains in and out of town so you can get home in time to maybe see a tree, it pressed on me the crevasse between my activism in the city and my suburban life. And then, ping, it became clear that there could be activism here. So I decided to start an organization to take on environment activism in town. Today, obviously, this amazing group of people in the SSC. And in this case, as if it was meant to be, in a matter of 1 month, 5 people, parentheses, who were already activists in Sharon of long standing, and I just had no idea they were there, were meeting around Nancy and Silas Filer's table in the kitchen on Sundays. Sidebar, we met there because Nancy was a great baker, and you actually wanted to get up Sunday morning at 9, which is not typical in our home. Mr. Paul Allenstein, who was really Mr. Water, who I met on a hike and who was filled with so much deep knowledge. And of course, the last of the five, the wonderful, delightful, seasoned, and thoughtful Lynn Wolbarst, who is the namesake of today's award, and whose presence was so thoughtful and specific. She was quite a deep soul who was a person who never gave up until so sadly one day she was just not there anymore, and her presence is deeply missed. So now we're around the dining room table at my place, and we're grappling with what SSC could, should be, and one meeting in slides Kathy Mirza, who's not here today, but we all love and know her, and who brings with her an expertise that could propel us forward in a campaign about lowering waste. Something with clarity and focus. Ping, we were launched. Today, SSC is in the capable and amazing hands of Cheryl Snitzer, and SSC is a clear voice for the planet filled with all of you. How dear and how deep this all is. But now comes a question and a concern, because I sense a rumble in the air. There is for many of us a clear understanding that the small, respite we are experiencing under Mr. Biden's early days is very possibly a calm before a major storm. As a child of the 60s, I remember the true foment of those years. I remember my night in jail and the only migraine headache I ever had in my life. And my day before the judge. I remember the city of Binghamton where I was in school awash with thousands of activists of all ages demonstrating against a secret war. I still sense the energy and its commitment, and I begin to wonder, could we see that today? I see so many faces glued to screens of all sizes. I see the sheer love of convenience, plastic packaging used with never a second thought, even as it clogs the ocean. People bellying up to the Dunkin's counter to eat their food when the palm nut oil they use is dismantling the rainforest and obliterating the primates that I personally love. I think to myself as I look at everyone here, what a dear group this Sustainable Sharon Coalition is. But on the grand scale, we're really a small team of just a few, and I feel worried. But then, truly and honestly, once again, I feel that ping. And it says, we are here. We are pushing compost. We are exciting our members to plant trees. We have fought off a PFAS to our lake. We've engaged young people and old alike, and we are deeply, deeply committed. Why should we not get to a place that allows us to work with many other groups to save the beings, the biomes, the resources, and the systems of this earth? As long as we are together and we are keeping our eyes open, we can keep working to make a difference. Let us all commit to press to move our world to a better place. And thank you, my friends, for this very kind